please remember to take a look at my description box. I forgot to do that when I was filming this video. Please sign petitions, donate where you can, and support Black content creators and Black businesses. All kinds of links will be in the description box below. Please do not neglect that at this time. I don't think it's fair for me to post anything without acknowledging what is going on and how I can use my voice and my platform. So please, please just donate and call and text and do literally anything you can. Be at the riots. Go support a community that's voice has been struggling to get heard for forever. So I just thought I would say that before just diving into my video. So thank you.
Hello.
It's me again. Hold on. That's better. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my June TBR because it is Pride Month this month and I'm really excited to share with you guys the books I want to read. I've given myself a doozy of a list, but that's fine. I've given myself 12 books and one novella type book. I'm interested to see if I can get through all of these. The chances are kind of 50-50 at this point. I really don't know if I'd be able to get through all of these, but I also don't doubt that I could. So I decided to give myself all queer books to read this month, at least with a queer author or with a queer main character. And so I picked some books that have been on my shelf for a very long time. I also got 2 ebooks for a pretty cheap price on my Kindle app, and I also picked a few other books from my TBR that I wanted to eventually acquire that were cheap so I could buy them on sale. And then I also got 2 new releases that came out in May that I'm really excited about, and they're probably the top of my list for this month. But let's just dive right into it. So the first book, I don't really know what the representation in this book is. I've heard that, okay, I'm just going to give you the book because I can't explain it. It's Fangirl by Rowell. I've heard that the only representation in this story is actually the 2 Simon and Baz in the webcomic series. I believe this is about a girl named Catherine, I think, and her twin sister who are going off to college. And Catherine was really into being in a fandom and all that stuff, but her sister's kind of grown away from that. And she's really obsessed with this webcomic series about these 2 boys that love each other, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of rep in this. This might be something that I push toward the end of the month because I don't know. I don't know what the rep is. I just know it was on a list on Goodreads, and so I put it on my list. But I might just put this as a filler book at the end of the month. I really don't know. So the next book goes along with that, and it's Carry On by Rowell. So this is about Simon and Baz and their story. So it is the 2 webcomic characters coming to life on screen from Fangirl or on book pages. So I believe Baz is a vampire, I think, and I think Simon lives with him and they're roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
They end up getting together, I think. I really don't know. I do know there's some spicy. So, alright. So the next book that I want to read this month is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy. This is about 2 twins. One of them is gay, and I believe half the book is told in his perspective, and the other half of the book is told in his sister's perspective. And it's both then kind of coming back together out of slipping apart after a few years. I was recommended this book back in high school by my best friend at the time, and I never picked it up, but I bought it. So kind of get some props, kind of not, but it's fine. So I'm going to pick it up this month. It is the book that I wanted to start with, but I might change my mind because another book just came in the mail that I'm really excited about. So it's a possibility I might change my mind, but I definitely will be getting to this one this month because this is one that's been on my list. I think it's been on my list longer than Carry On. It's been a while, so I want to pick this up. Next is a book that I don't know the rep either. It was just on another list.
Nice.
But I looked into it, and I believe the main character is bisexual, and I believe 2 other characters are gay, I think. Or at least, like, they're in a relationship. One of them might be bisexual. I really don't know. Anyways, it's The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. So this is about... I don't know. I read the back of the book, and I honestly still don't know what it's about. So, like, that's great, I guess. So Blue, just kind of like... her mom's a clairvoyant, I guess, and she stands by her and, like, never sees the dead walk past, but this time she sees a boy, and he's a rich student at Aglionby, which is the local private school, and they call themselves the Raven Boys, and everyone hates them, I guess, and then she, like, feels this attraction to him. I don't know, it kind of, okay, so I read Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater, and it was just like one of those basic ass bitch books that you read when you're like 13 and you're like,
oh my god, I want a werewolf in my life.
And now that you're an adult, you're kind of like,
do I?
Probably, but you know. So I don't know. This one, I don't know. It's been on my list for so long, I figured because the main character is bisexual, maybe I'll jump into it, but maybe this will be at the end of the month. I really don't know. We'll see.
Next.
So next I have my ebooks. So I got 2 books on ebook for like, I think it was $3 each. So the first one is a novella story. It's only 166 pages, and it is a time traveler's guide to modern romance. I'm really excited to read it. I don't know. It's got like a 3.28, so she's not doing well. But it's about this boy who travels from, I think, early 1900s, where it's not acceptable to be gay, and then he goes to like... My cat just fell. Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, so I think this boy travels from like his time into modern time, and this boy in modern time he falls in love with, and it's kind of like he's teaching him how to be okay with himself. I think that's what I got from the synopsis. This entire this entire video is me not knowing anything about the books that I bought, but that's fine. I'm excited about it. It was only $3, so I picked it up because I thought it'd be an easy read. Oh, and it's by Madeline J. Reynolds. Next, I have another book that I picked up on ebook for $3, and that is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. So this book got a lot of like hate because a lot of people found it very insta-lovey. But honestly, like, it's about this boy, this bisexual boy who moves from California to Utah and ends up falling in love with this former student who comes back as like a TA, but he only graduated like a couple years ago, so it's not like a weird age difference. But this boy is devoutly Mormon and extremely closeted, and it's kind of that journey. And for anyone who's calling it insta-lovey, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but like, I think we can all kind of just assume that high school love is gonna be insta-lovey. Like, that's... Have you ever been in love in high school? Or like at least thought you were? Like it's pretty tragic and definitely very insta-lovey. So I mean, that's just my personal take on it. I don't like that trope very much, but when it comes to like a contemporary insta-love, I can kind of deal with it. When it comes to like fantasy or a dystopia or sci-fi or anything else, then it kind of bothers me a little bit, but I think I'll be able to deal with it with this one. So the next category are books that I bought within the past year. So the first book I bought, and it's not here yet, but that's fine. It is Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I feel like this is a rite of passage type book. I don't really know. It's about... I just choked. Okay. It is about this boy who is a closeted gay person at his high school. So Simon is not out as being gay, and then he starts talking to this boy online, and this boy is also gay and also goes to his school, and that's the first person he's known of that is actually gay at his school, so he's kind of like excited about it, and I'm also excited about it. But yeah, I'm excited because I've seen the movie for this. I didn't even know it was a book going into this. So I think I just passed my first YouTube rite of passage. My camera lost storage, or like I didn't have enough storage, so She stopped working, and that's fine. I was just saying that I didn't read this book. I didn't know that Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda was a book because I wasn't reading books that were really popular at the time. I was reading books that were published like a long time ago, like in like early 2000s, because they were always at the thrift store, and I just didn't buy a lot of books from the big Canadian book chain. So I didn't read that book, so now I want to. The next, what was that sound? The next one that goes along with that is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I think this takes place in the Simonverse world, but I don't think it has the characters. I believe it's about this plus-size girl who, her sister gets like a girlfriend and she gets lovesick, and then like this girl gets bitter because she can't find anybody. I don't know. I don't have extremely high hopes going into this because I've heard that the character is very annoying in the way that she portrays herself and the way that she is portrayed as a plus-size character, because she kind of acts like the world is the worst place ever because she's fat, and it's just like, it's not. Like, yes, dating can be difficult when you're fat, but ultimately, like, dating can be difficult when you're not fat too. So I'm interested to see how I feel about this, but again, I feel like this is another booktube rite of passage, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I've wanted to read this since I found out that Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda was a book, because this was recommended with it, and it sounded like something I would like, so I'm gonna read it. The next one I'm very excited about. This is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. This is an own voices novel for a non-binary character. And I'm so excited because I've never read a story with a non-binary character, let alone one written by a non-binary person. So this is about Ben, who comes out to their parents and ends up getting kicked out of their home. So they move in with their estranged older sister and her husband, and the only person that knows that they are non-binary is, I believe, their older sister Hannah, the husband Thomas, and I think their therapist. So they're just trying to keep a low profile, pretty low-key lifestyle, and then boom, they meet someone and they fall for them. And I'm really excited because I don't read own voices by people enough. Like, own voices is not something that I familiarize myself with until booktube. Like, I'm happy I have this, and I really can't wait to read it. The next book is a book okay, so the next 4 books, the last 4 books, I guess, are the ones I'm most excited to read. I say I'm the most, but I'm really excited to read all of them, but these 4 hold special places in my heart. So this is Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Ngan, the second book in the Girls of Paper and Fire series that I just read the first one in May. So I'm really excited for this one because this is the continuation, and I cannot wait to see what happens with Lay and with her girlfriend. I'm so happy. It's such a whirlwind. So the first book is about Lay, who gets taken from her home to be a king's concubine, along with like 8 other girls, and she ends up falling for not the king, but one of the other concubines. So I like it. I'm very excited for the second book. This is one that's like so high on my list this month. It's unreal, and I just can't wait. I can't wait to dive in and be a part of it. Like, it's gonna be so fun. The next book is the one that came in the mail. I'm very happy that it came. I ordered it on April 9th, and it is now June 1st, and it just showed up. So that's cool. Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Thursd, I believe her name is. I'm so excited to read this. It's about this girl who's in an arranged marriage with this guy. I believe it's like princess kingdom type situation, but then she ends up falling in love with his sister. I'm pretty sure. I think that's the right one. But if that is the right one, sign me the fuck up, because I'm so excited to read about this kind of story. I believe she's bisexual, our main character, and again, I don't see a lot of bisexual rep in YA novels, so I'm honestly like, bring on this story, bring on the popcorn. I can't even imagine like being arranged to marry someone and then she's like, I actually love your sister. Like, that's some tea. Anyway. So I'm really excited to read this one. I'm hoping that it's as good as I think it will be. And a lot of people really have loved this book, so I'm excited to include it in my TBR. Okay, I had a moment. So next two books I have are new releases. They came out in May. I am so excited. So the first book I'm planning on doing a review for toward the beginning of this month, maybe the middle of the month actually. It's The Boy in the Red Dress by Krystyn Lambert. I believe she's a debut author. But this is a queer murder mystery. Need I go on? I will though. So it's about Millie and Marion is accused of murder, and Millie is a bisexual main character as well, and she goes out to try to figure out who actually is the murderer. And it takes place in 1920, I think it's 1929, New Orleans, which anything set in the 1920s, like I probably will read. Like it takes the chances of me reading it from like down here to like all the way up here, because I love 1920s. I think that's one of my favorite time periods in books. Obviously, you know, 1920s were a little rocky in real life, but in books they're just such a guilty pleasure for me. So I'm really excited to get into this book, and I'm just so excited. Okay. The final book on my list for this month is another, I think, debut author, but definitely something that came out in May, and it's The Henna Wars by Adiba Jaigirdar. This is a novel about a lesbian Muslim girl who reconnects with an old friend from high school, or from elementary school, sorry, and then they end up getting into a skills competition over henna, and then they start getting into like this like henna rivalry, and okay, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read this. This is something that it's definitely, both The Henna Wars and The Boy in the Red Dress were overshadowed by the fact that A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out, as well as Stephenie Meyer's fucking announcement about some new Twilight book that I don't care about. So there were definitely, like, the May releases had it rough, because first of all, like, they did get overshadowed by certain other books coming out, but they also had the added disadvantage that quarantine happened, so they weren't able to go in stores and see their book being displayed on release day, and I think that would be very difficult. So I kind of want to make loat. What the fuck is a loat? I want to bring light on these books, and that's why I'm going to do reviews for both of them, because I'm very, very excited to read them. I honestly anticipate both of these being at least 4-star reads. I have a feeling one of these books I have a feeling is going to be 5 stars, and the other one I have a feeling could either be a 5-star or a 4.5. So I guess in my review coming some point in June for the first book, which is this one, you guys will know which is which. Let me know in the comments below if you want to guess which one I think is going to be like the best of the best. But yeah, I'm very excited to read these. I like bringing light to books that have been underhyped. I love reading underhyped stories. If y'all saw my TBR, you'd be like, what is that book? And I'd be like, well, let me educate you on this book that was released in 2017 and has like 3 reviews on Goodreads. Let's chat. With that being said, those are the books I plan on reading in June. Obviously, I don't know if I'll get to all of these. It's kind of just, it gives me a big list to pick from, so that's pretty exciting. But let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these, what you feel about them, and if you want to let me know about the rep in Fangirl or the Raven Boys, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, until next time, bye readers!